All right, well, peace, peace, peace. Well, first and foremost, man, hopefully the Most High Yahweh is blessing your day. By His mercies, we are consumed. We're alive in the Most High Yahweh's body, too. We're naturally alive. And I got to pick that up. And yeah, man, I just want to get this real quick. Lord willing, actually, it's two. Lord willing, I'm going to see the movie Him with my sister later. So it's going to be really quick, actually. But Lord willing, and I just saw The Long Walk on Tuesday. So, Lord willing, we're gonna talk about that more do a video on that. But that's neither here nor there. But since today's the 18th, and I was thinking about this yesterday, man, because I was thinking about this, what Yahushua said. It's just crazy, how that's the importance of the witness and testimony in the gospel. Because, how Yahushua said, when two or three gathered in my name, I'm there. But we're gonna get this example with in the law. Honestly, with even with the first Yahushua, son of Nun, Joshua. But, let's look at this real quick. It's going to be real quick, but we're going to look at this. Matthew chapter 18, verse 20. It says, for where there are two or three gather in my name, I'm there in the midst of them. And two, there's a lot of power in the Most High Yahushua's name, because in Exodus 34 and 6, Numbers 14 and 18, Jeremiah 9:24, the characteristics and the traits of the Most High Yahushua's name, man. So yeah, man. So we're gonna read this again, and also too, we're gonna go to Numbers 14 for something else though. It says Matthew chapter 18 verse 20. For where there are two or three gathered in my name, I am there in the midst of them. So let's get an example in this out, in the law, man. Because see, this is the importance of the witness and testimony of the gospel, how the Most High Yahweh comes in the volume of my book. Let's get this example in the law with the first Yahweh, man. Yahweh son of Nun, man. But I tell you at the end from the beginning, man. Let's get number 14 real quick. Let's go. No, since you mentioned it, Numbers 14 30. So there's an example of that, because pause. Wasn't we in the wilderness, right? When we about to go into the promised land? Who's the only one that made it? Joshua and Caleb. So that's 2 and 3 right there, honestly. And they and the word goes into and I forgot the scripture. I think it's in Numbers. It goes into how Caleb had another spirit. Joshua and Caleb had another spirit than everybody there at the time, man. And that's why they were sons and daughters. They were sons of the Most High, man. They were sons of God. Because doesn't Romans 8:16 say, by the Spirit they know, by the Spirit we know that we are the sons of Yahweh, sons of the Most High, sons of God. So yeah, man. So I think we touched on that too. But here's an example of 2 or 3 in my name. Because let's get Numbers 14 and 30. It says, except for Caleb and the son of Jephunneh and Joshua son of Nun, you shall know by me. You shall by no means enter the land which I swore I will make you dwell in. Exactly. So that goes into the 2 or 3 gathered in my name. Also too, that's going lining up with that First John, when it says now it's like that Zebulon, like it says in Genesis 49, when Zebulon means to dwell. But now the Most High, like First John 4 goes into I think 1 John 4, the Most High Yahweh's Spirit is dwelling within us, man. So that's what this promised land is this promised land is within, man. The kingdom, like Yahushua says, is within. So, but we see an example of that 2 or 3 in my name with Joshua and Caleb. It says, except for Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and Joshua, son of Nun, you shall by no means enter the land which I swore I make you dwell in. So yeah, let's go back to Matthew 18. That's the example of 2 or 3 in my name in the law, man. Because you could always get examples of things in the law, man. Because that's what Yahushua, the apostles, the prophets, man, is going into referencing, man. Honestly, because the Most High Yahushua tells the end from the beginning, man. But the scriptures like a constant river or a song. It's harmonious. Psalms 85 says it kisses together, man. Law, testimony, all that stuff, man. The Matthew chapter 18 verse 20 says, for where 2 or 3 gather in my name, I am there in the midst of them. So yeah, exactly. So that example in the law is Joshua and Caleb. That is one of a few examples too, 2 or 3 in my name. And also too, let me say this too. Just because it says that, because even though Yahweh says broad is a way, and many of course, few shall, many are called, few are chosen. And no, let me say this in this aspect too. Just because you have a big congregation doesn't mean, like, one, that doesn't always mean it's a balanced type of nuanced thing. That doesn't mean that you're all wicked, and that doesn't mean you're all righteous because it's a big congregation, church, or assembly, or camp, whatever, or place of worship, whatever. Like, because at the same time, because what Yahushua said, like, because some people use, because some people use that in the spiritual fear. It's okay. Oh, look at us, we got this such and such people. But then Yahushua say the broad's away. But also too, on the flip side, just because you have a big assembly, congregation, or like church or camp, like, that doesn't mean that they're all wicked. And that's the thing, because many people use that. There's 2 or 3 in my name, like, to kind of discredit people that have big assemblies or churches or camps. That's not the point, honestly. So the Yahushua is really going into, like, the importance of faith, man, the power of faith, honestly. Like, kind of how, like, even sometimes when we went to war, sometimes we would be how, like, even with Gideon, we having 300 men, or sometimes, like, when we went to war, we had, like, we wouldn't have as many soldiers as the other nations that we were warring against, or against the heathen. But really, as long as, like, it goes into Isaiah 8 and 10, and that Romans 8 and 31, as long as the Most High Yahushua, is on our side, and we have faith in them, nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop us. So that's kind of the point where Yahushua is making, man. Was in honestly the faith, man. Because another example was this: 2 or 3 of my name is Noah. So that's and that goes more to how few will be saved and things of that nature. But yeah, man. Hopefully it's edifying. My bad for the sidebars, y'all. Yeah, man. So peace.